Verasity have had a big run this year, and it managed to achieve a decent return on investment. Its structure seems to be at its last phases, and today we'll dive deep into that, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is King, your host, and today's video is for pure educational purposes. Please don't take it as a financial advice because that's simply my own opinion. Now, if it's your first time in the channel and you happen to like my content, then please consider subscribing and smashing the like button because it really helps. Also share it if you think it's worth sharing. Now, if you have any request for any coin or project that you want me to analyze, then make sure to leave it in the comments below and I'll take a look at each one of them. And now let's go and look at the chart. From the first look at Verasity chart, it's obvious that it's forming a typical 5-wave structure that includes 3 impulses and 2 corrections. If we were to break this down on the chart, the beginning of this structure has started here in March of 2020. This was the first impulse, this was the first correction, this was the second impulse, and this was the second correction, and now we're in the 5th wave of this structure, or the 3rd impulse. So the 5-wave structure is going to look like this. That's the second impulse, the correction, and this is the last piece of the structure. This chart is the weekly chart of Verasity, and the weekly oscillator is suggesting that the price is very exhausted and it's so overbought at the moment. Now this means that we need to see a little pullback here at this point until the oscillator goes outside the overbought area so it can take a little bit of breathing space before it goes up again. So what we'll do next, we will zoom into this last wave of the structure, the 5th wave, and try to analyze it to see how far the price could be pulling back before continuing up further to complete the full structure of the 5 wave. So we need to look for the major support and resistance areas of where the price could be retracing from. Now the first and the most logical support area that the price could be pulling down to is this area in the green range, because it was retested multiple times, initially in April of 2021 where it used to be a resistance, and then after that it was retested for the second time as a resistance in September. But as soon as the price broke outside this level, it was retested here again as support in October of this year. So if we're going to see the price pull further, it might go down towards this range before continuing up from here. And the price point here could be plus or minus 5 cents. And I can say that this scenario is very logical, because once this happens, this last piece of the structure is going to be a 5-wave structure by itself. So this over here will be the initial impulse, and this will be the first correction, this will be the second impulse, and this will be the second correction, and then we'll get the 3rd impulse and the last wave of this structure. Especially that we don't have any divergence between the initial impulse and the second impulse, and that suggests that we are most likely going to get a 5th wave in this specific structure over here. Now if we try to plot the Fibonacci retracement levels, we can see that this support range over here is also supported by the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement, which makes it even a stronger level. So this makes me more lenient towards this scenario, that the price is going to go down towards this level, and as soon as it touches this level, it's going to retrace and continue going up further. But since it's always important to stay open for possibilities, let's look at the scenario where if this support level and the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level does not hold the price. In other words, the price goes and breaks below these levels. So what's the next logical support level that we have here? In an ideal scenario, the 0.618 should be the next level, and it's usually the strongest among all the Fibonacci retracement. But the problem here is that we don't have a lot of confluence when it comes to support and resistance. It means we don't have a lot of support and resistance that have been formed around the same level of the 0.618. But if we go down further towards the 0.786, we can see that we have 4 different support and resistance areas that are supporting the 0.786. This one over here, and this one over here, and this one, and this one. So the 0.786 is a much stronger support level than the 0.618. So if the price does not hold its ground around the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, there is a more probability that we can drop down from here towards the 0.786 Fibonacci level, because the 0.618 is most likely not going to survive. But even if that happens, at some point over here we're going to see the price retrace further and continue its uptrend. So these are the two most viable scenarios for Verasity at the moment. As I told you earlier, I'm more lenient towards the first scenario, where the price pulls back towards the 5-cent area and then continues trending up from here. But again, it's very important to stay open for possibilities in any financial market, so keep the second scenario in mind as well. Now moving forward, the next question would be how far the price is going to go from this point onwards after it finishes its pullback, and what are the most logical targets that are going to come next. Now the trend-based Fibonacci extensions here are suggesting multiple targets, but the one that the price is most likely going to go to is going to be the 3.618 Fibonacci level. So once the price finishes its pullback and goes towards this level, it will be standing around the 21-cent price mark. However, if there was a stronger momentum here and the price decided to extend further than this and go towards the 4.618 Fibonacci level, so that level will be standing at around 27 cents. And in either one of these cases, we could be seeing a growth after the pullback of about 400 to 500 or 600% once the price reaches these price targets over here. Again, I could be totally wrong about this, so don't take it as a financial advice, because that's only my personal opinion. And if you have different opinion, please let me know in the comments below and tell me what are your thoughts about Verasity. Also, if you have a request for any other coin or project that you want me to look at, make sure to leave it in the comments section below, and I'll try my best to look at all of them. Now, by the end of this video, if you guys believe that these information were helpful to you, please make sure to subscribe and smash the like button, and also share the video. This was it for today, and until next video, stay safe and see you later.